Think plastics don't get recycled? Think again.
Yes, recyclable plastics can and do get recycled. There's a common misconception that all plastics just get thrown away. But today, we're going to walk you through how recyclable plastics move through the recycling process and why some plastics are easily recycled and some are not. We'll also show you how used recyclables can be remade into something entirely new.
And that's how everything's made, ladies and gentlemen.
It's estimated that 14% of New York's waste stream is plastic. In New York State, we have the potential to divert 2.5 million tons of recyclable plastics from landfills and combustion each year. Recycling is not the best scenario. According to the waste reduction pyramid, recycling is an energy-intensive process that inevitably grades down the value of plastic over time.
Ideally, we make less waste in the first place by using reusable items like a fork or a water bottle. When you drop locally accepted plastics in the bin, at home, at work, or on the go, you help make sure that these plastics have a chance to get recycled.
This is an important step, as many recyclable plastics are just tossed in the trash and do not even make it to the recycling bin in the first place. Recycling rules are not the same in every community. Rules can differ based on your community and even different waste transporters in your community. The guides vary based on the plastic size, shape, color, and type.
To determine what type of plastic a product is, check the bottom or side of the container.
There could be many reasons why some plastics are not recycled in your community. But some examples are that the plastic is a mixed material with multiple different types of plastics in one, making it very difficult to separate. Others could be contamination, whether it be food or materials that should never have been in the recycling in the first place. And some plastics aren't recyclable because there's not a market for the material once it's recycled. And finally, some plastics are not recyclable because the facilities that process them don't have the capacity or have limitations on what their equipment can handle.
When you recycle, make sure your plastic items are clean. It doesn't have to be perfect, but a quick rinse goes a long way.
After recyclables are placed in the bin, the materials are either picked up from a residence by a hauler or driven to the local transfer station. From there, materials are taken to the local recyclables handling and recovery facility.
This is the tipping floor, where 300 tons of recyclables are taken in each day. This is the plastic and metal stream. After it goes through the screening process, it's here. Paper is then sorted out by hand to ensure it's just plastic and metal going forward.
At an RHRF, recyclables are sorted by plastic type manually or using optical sorting equipment. Optical sorters automatically tell the different types of plastic apart depending on how they reflect light. A computer detects the reflected light rays and determines what type of plastic it is. Then, off it goes with a burst of air to be sorted with those plastics of the same resin identification code. Optical sorters can process tons of plastics per hour with a 95% accuracy rating.
Think your plastics don't get recycled? Think again!
Next, the sorted plastics are compressed into bales, which makes it easier to store and ship. These bales are sold to manufacturers across the world.
Each bale of plastic PET is worth about $80.
The ability to recycle is driven by manufacturers who can use these materials for new products. To make plastic more valuable to potential buyers, it requires a high-quality, clean material in large quantities. An RHRF can deal with some contamination, but the system is not perfect. When non-acceptable materials make it through the facility, it decreases the value of the final bale, or worse, certain items like cords, clothing, film plastics, or hazardous waste can damage the sorting equipment, injure workers, or even start fires.
LeVar Davis, site manager here at the facility.
LeVar, can you explain what wish cycling is?
So wish cycling is something that someone wants to recycle but not sure if it's recyclable or not, and they're just gonna put it in a recycling can and hope it gets recycled.
So I'm going to go through quickly some of the things that have come through your facility that are wish cycled but really can be a hazard to your staff and the overall recycling process.
Yeah.
Could you tell us why each of these things is dangerous?
Absolutely.
So here we have a BB gun.
So I mean, obviously this is not cannot recycle. It's two different materials. For one, and if it's loaded, it can harm or hurt the employees here at the facility.
Here we have a dented propane canister.
So propane cylinders, anything with a valve should not be recyclable. We cannot determine if it's empty, it can hold pressure and gases and risk for explosions.
All right, so LeVar, we got the new kid on the block, lithium-ion batteries. How does this item propose a danger to your facility?
Fires, immediate thermal run rate fires can ignite and destroy a facility in a matter of minutes. Batteries are in everything nowadays, and they should not be recycled at a facility here.
After bales are shipped and broken down by the manufacturer, they need to be cleaned and refined before they can continue their journey to becoming a new product. We're here in the Bronx at a plastic recycling factory to give you a hands-on view of how plastic recycling works.
Basically, the processes are exactly the same as you would do on an industrial scale. We just have them obviously a lot smaller. This is our plastic intake area. This is where we collect, sort, and clean the plastic. So we'll intake predominantly number 2 HDP and number 5 polypropylene, but we do recycle a wide variety of plastics here. Once the material is sorted, it then moves over to the shredding area. So this is a semi-industrial shredder.
This particular shredder can process 100 pounds of plastic an hour. Large-scale manufacturers have the ability to process thousands of pounds per hour.
And this will granulate the plastic, and then what you end up with is these flakes that feed all of the machines. Our primary mission is to take plastic out of the environment and put it into enduring, useful objects. At the bare minimum, even if our design fails and nobody wants the things that we make small plastic into bigger plastic, which is much easier to clean up than it would be if it was a microplastic floating around the ocean.
Here, they are able to reclaim plastics on a small scale, using semi-industrial machines to create unique art projects.
So there's a nozzle that's fitted to the mold, and that's press fit. The granulated plastic is loaded in the top, and then we're just making sure that the plastic is going down into the barrel from the funnel. Even pressure. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's great. Pull it out.
It's pretty awesome. What steps do you take to make sure that this production and this process are safe for you and other people who might be in this space?
The first is proper sorting and cleaning of the material. Any kind of contaminant can be potentially toxic. In general, proper ventilation and proper safety masks. There's particular types of plastic. You'll see number 3 missing here. PVC we do not work with because it is very toxic. Vinyl and chlorine is extremely toxic when it's heated.
How does this operation mirror what occurs on a industrial scale facility?
Every process that we use is the same. If not, I wouldn't say identical, but very stripped down and scaled down. Part of the idea of small scale is also that we have a lot of agility to work with materials and develop processes for materials from a completely tiny scale, and then figure out how to bridge the gap between that scale and global industrial.
Now the cycle restarts. Recycled plastic items are sold to consumers and businesses, beginning their next life as a new product. When you're at the store, look for items with labels that say post-consumer recycled content. That means that a certain percentage of the product is made from items that residents once put into recycling bins. Choosing products made with higher percentages of post-consumer recycled content helps to support our local recycling system by creating economic demand for the recyclable materials. Recycling is not just about throwing things in the recycling bin and hoping for the best. It's a process that relies on all of us to know before we throw.